everyone's having a good Saturday night. On the Wizards Outlook, you got Cardell Dudley Jr., Raymond Lyons, Wilson Tucker Jr., and Washington Wizards just fell to the Milwaukee Bucks, 125-119. The Wizards had a large portion of this game where they did a lot of things right. And then, again, the toughest part with beating a good team is executing when it matters most. Yeah, things got away from them late. I'm gonna let you guys get into that. Uh, Ray, we'll start with you tonight, and then Cardell, just your initial thoughts on the Bucks outlasting the Wizards tonight.
It was closer than I thought it was gonna be. I'll say that. The Wizards, they came out with much better start than they had against Philly. They even took control of the game for a second there in the second quarter, but the Bucks walked them down, and they went into the half with a 1-point lead. Whenever there's a game like this, Bill's sitting out, Bertan's out as well. You think that the deck is pretty much stacked against them, but it's always weird to me when the team performs better offensively with their main weapon out. But I just feel like they're a little more free. They don't have to kind of think about getting Bill the ball, as often as they would like. With him being out there, they just like that pressure is gone. They just kind of play basketball. Rui, his decision making was much more crisp, much more concise. He looked comfortable and confident, and it's pretty much one of the best games of his career. I got kind of concerned when Giannis started waking up, but the Wizards still weren't deterred. They were right there the whole way. They acted like they actually had a pulse on defense through stretches of this game. I'm happy to see Russ starting to look like some version of himself. We talked about early in the season, just him dealing with injuries, trying to get healthy. But he looks like he's in a good place right now. But he got to get this free throw situation under control. In regards to Rui, he's got to control his valleys and peaks better. We get a game like this, and then the next time out we'll get just normal, like, what are you doing type Rui, where he's just kind of looking sluggish or looking like he really doesn't have his footing. So if he can just kind of level that out a little better, that'll be good for all parties involved. Before we got on, Wilson, me and you was talking about executing. In these type of games against these good teams, you got to make good decisions down the stretch, man. You can't waste possessions. There was like a 2-3 play stretch where I felt like the Wizards really kind of gave it up at the end there. They had a bad transition three by Denny. Then Drew Holiday came back and hit a three. Then Westbrook came back and just jacked the early three, which led to a Giannis dunk. And, just like that, the Wizards are down 6. And this you can't have those stretches late in games, because you're just not giving yourself enough time to recover. And then, when you give up that momentum late like that is pretty much all she wrote. And their decision making down the stretch is always a little funky. Like, I don't know why they didn't foul Giannis when they had the chance. At least give yourself a shot with a not so great free throw shooter. But it is what it is, man. It's this is nothing new. This has been something they've been riddled with all season. Even thinking back to what game was that? Denver, when Murray hit that deep three, and there was just some confusion on what to do. So it's something that's plagued these guys, and they definitely got to figure that out. That's not a good problem to have at the highest level of basketball. But I was happy to see him be competitive. But again, it never sits well with me when they give away a winnable game like this, especially against one of the top caliber teams in the league. And right now they just need every win they can get. But yeah, man, just shake it off and get ready for them on Monday. They, like you said, Wilson, they woke them up. So it may just to see what that's going to look like. But they'll have Bill back. Maybe they'll have Bertans back. So they'll be at they'll have a little more firepower as well. So yeah, just looking to see how they come back from this on in a couple days.
Cardo.
I feel like the Wizards show hard. They competed, which is a far cry from the last two games. I felt like Rui was ultra aggressive. He knew what time it was. He knew who was coming in, and that was his matchup. So I'm pretty sure they challenged him, especially when Bill went out. You gotta play, or Giannis gonna get you up out of there real quick. Foul trouble. Then Brooks. He been on this. He won't put the best play in. That's trying to play. That's trying to fight. And he was, Rui was aggressive from opening tip, and that put Giannis on his heels because he wasn't really expecting that. You know what I mean? He kind of forced him to go to Plan B a little bit and have to play hard. Even though he plays hard, but have to play what he, I'm pretty sure he didn't anticipate needing a triple double to win it tonight, especially without Bill. So he had to go to the full bag tonight. You know what I'm saying? And for Rui to battle a two-time MVP like that and more than hold his own, that just tells you about his potential. Is just about being consistent. I really think I know people have been trying to push Bertans because everybody's in love with shooting these days because that's how most people who don't really know much about the game identify if a player is good or not. But it was always Rui for me to be the third option. I feel like he defers too much. You know what I mean? I feel like he needed to be more aggressive and step up and kind of keep this tone moving forward. It'll help the entire team, but it'll help Bill and Russ take pressure off of them because they got a guy that can do that. Like if you could do this against Giannis, you could do this against anybody in the league. And I think COVID really jacked him up because early in the season he was doing this. He was battling KDs and all those guys like that, getting solid numbers. So, he just has to maintain that. That's the thing. I'm looking to see. Rush show why we all love him. Throughout his career, despite the flaws, not being a true point, turnover prone, not a pure shooter. It's his competitive nature. He could have easily, Bill ain't playing. I'm gonna sit out, make sure I'm good for Monday when he come back, or hopefully come back. He played to win. He was the big reason why they had a shot to win this game, man. I don't anticipate him shooting 5 for 11 from three. That's not really his game. But when he has that going, it shows you, even to this day, how unstoppable he is, man. The turnovers, he gave some back. That's the bad part about Russ, man. He gonna give you some points back. But 42, 12, and 10. 16 to 32. And I love the fact that he when Rui got tired, he got on Giannis. 6'4". That's what I mean. It comes down to your heart, man. And everybody ain't got it, even at the NBA level. I don't care how much millions they making. Really, the money just exposes the lack of heart that they have, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just why does it take 6'4" point guard, 6'3" point guard or whatnot when Rui's fatigued and then giving him a break? Why does it take a 6'3" point guard to get on Giannis? If I'm a big on the Wizards, I'll take that personal. Like, nah, dog, like I got that. You know what I'm saying? It's just like if I gotta get on a point guard, Russ should take that personal. You feel what I'm saying? And that's just reflective of, why the Wizards are in the position that they're in. Whatever, about to be 10 games under 500. The one thing I like about Russ and what he did tonight, despite that Bill and Bertans wasn't there, he's been doing this his entire career. He will pass you the ball, and even if you're off, he will still pass it to you to force you to get in rhythm. It's like, dog, I gotta make you. I gotta put the confidence in you, so like, all right, he's gonna keep passing me, so I'm gonna have to make some shots. Normally, if you miss a couple shots, a lot of point guards won't go back to you. And now you in the dumps and stuff. He won't allow you to go in the dumps. He's like, look, you're going to figure it out. I'm going to keep coming to you. And that instills confidence and stuff like that. So it forces you not to pout and stuff like that. It forces you to keep playing. And that's what coaches preach when you're down anyway. And that's what he did tonight. And guys, got going. And that, that was big, man. I feel like the bench production was key. I feel like the Bucks had 37, so the Wizards 20. Bobby Portis, who I knew was going to be motivated going against his former team. I felt, he had a good chance to come back, but for whatever reason, they ain't bring him back money-wise or whatnot. I knew he was going to be on one to show them that you messed up. Connaughton, Forbes, they scored in double figures. That was key. The Wizards bench got to figure something out because it puts so much pressure on the starters that, if they off or they're fatigued or whatnot, it's a wrap. because you can't really count on the bench. They got to figure it out, man. It's too many vets coming off the outside. Troy Brown Bonga, who is still young. There's too many vets that's supposed to be coming off that bench that should be producing. And they're not asking you to be all world, just do your job. So they got to figure out something there. I feel like Denny had a solid all around performance. That was a big ass 3 in the 4th, man, for a rookie. No hesitation. That tells you he got some balls. You know what I'm saying? Once the game slow down, he figure out the lead, and he's gonna be fearless. And you know what I'm saying? So, but it takes time. I feel like Drew Holiday, they did a good job on him. He was cold throughout the game, but he woke up in the 4th. And I think he's the one that really put the game away, man. When the Wizards had a chance to be, winnable game, hit a few threes, hit the fadeaway on Len inside the paint, hit the layup, got to the free throw line. But that's what great players do. They figured out, even though he really didn't have a good night offensively. And the main reason since All-Star break, the reason why I think they're 0-3 since All-Star break is rebounding. I felt like they played good defense most of the game, but they couldn't secure the ball. I mean, they out rebounded 57-41, 13 offensive. Dante DiVincenzo, he had a game high 13 rebounds, man. Not even Giannis had that. Like he's a 6'4" shooting guard. You like Garrison Matthews. Come on, you got to put a body on him, champ. You gotta. That's just inexcusable. A guard should not have that. They should not lead the game. If you're not Magic Johnson or Ben Simmons or somebody, or Russ, who's special, he's just a special kind of cat when it comes to rebounding at the point guard position. They should not have the game high. They should not have 13 rebounds. So that's extra possessions for the Bucks to get going. That's what kept them in the game when the Wizards was going off. And honestly, that's the main reason why the Wizards are losing, because all those extra possessions, you're still on defense. And by the time the 4th come around, when you try to make that push, you're dead tired. Think about it. Jonas killed him on the boards. He had 20 boards. And B was killing him till he went down. But then the Sixers, Dwight came in and then finished it off. Now you got this. And I feel like they did a reasonable job with Giannis, because he only had 11. And he got no offensive rebounds. So the fact that somebody got 13 offensive rebounds on the Bucks is ridiculous, man. I mean, no, he had 2. My fault. Giannis had 2 offensive rebounds. DiVincenzo, he led the game in offensive rebounds. He had 4. There you go. Hustle. No one's putting the ball on a body on him. As soon as somebody shoot, they turn in and looking, and he going in there and getting the ball. So it comes back to little things, man. That's beating them, man. And look, the effort they showed today. We've been saying all season, they bring it every game, they will win their fair share of games. But now it's the second half of the season. Guys are gearing up for the playoffs. Now you got to play smarter. And that comes with experience. And the Wizards don't have that. They don't, outside Bill and Russ, Lopez, they either don't have the experience or they don't have the ability. So it's just hard.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get these up and down results, man, till one or the other kind of evens out, man. And right now, it ain't gonna even out in the second half of the season.
No, I think that was a great way to put it. They either don't have the experience or the ability, and we've seen that. I felt like a couple times I just kept typing empty possessions, and again, they hurt even more when you're losing the rebounding battle. Like 1, they're already empty because you need them. 2, it hurts more because you get 89% of getting a stop, but then offensive rebound, offensive rebound, and then it's getting kicked out to where, I'm sorry, they did a pretty good job on like Brent Forbes. Most of Brent Forbes' threes came after offensive rebounds. He's in rhythm by himself, catch and shoot. Kid's a pretty good shooter. You give him 2 cracks at it, he's probably gonna make it. And the sad part, I think you said Dante had 4 offensive rebounds. One of them got called back. You remember the putback dunk?
Oh, yeah.
It was offensive interference. He came soaring in on that one too. And like you said, man, that's
scouting report though. That's scouting report. I know, looking at the game, they was hunting for those type of opportunities. And I know they're saying that, because think about it, on defense, what Russ is going, he going in. So he's not boxing nobody out. He's going for the board.
Facts.
So the other guard looking, the bigs down there fighting, they fighting, they doing the best they can. They fighting. So yeah, it's free reign. That's easy. I mean, send them in there. Why not? it's just it's little things, man. It's little things, dog. And in that league, if you don't got it, if you don't correct those little things, they're gonna exploit the hell out of those little areas, and that's how they're gonna beat you, man.
And but yeah, just to double down on what y'all said, hell of a night from Rui. And then the challenge going forward is to keep this same energy and aggressiveness, regardless if Brad and Russ is there or not. They need you to be like this every night. Not that you need to have 29, but just this level of being aggressive and assertive. It's a must. If you're being this aggressive, and again, Brad wasn't out there, you being this aggressive, that's one less person that someone got to make a decision, and now you got to make a decision at some point. You keep the extra person focused on Bill, or you start wearing folks out because you're at the line so much, or you just eating in the mid range, which he was doing most of the night. But it was a good show from him. They get a day off to think about it. They got Milwaukee on Monday. Like you said, Cardell looked like Rui coming out aggressive, put Giannis on his heels. So now this is the big thing for Rui going into Monday. Giannis probably won't be on his heels knowing after what just happened tonight, because you had this type of outing. So,
but go at him again.
Yeah.
That's the thing the Wizards showed tonight. I was saying, I'm like, the Wizards act like they figured out that they're NBA players too, and they making millions too. Like, who cares? Like, you gotta have that attitude, bro. When you are the man, you may not be as talented, man. Even if you are as talented, you got that mentality. So what? Like, I'll see you again, and it's gonna be the same thing again Monday. That's how you make your name in the league. So he shouldn't be scared at all, and I'm glad he's aggressive because, like, I'm looking at his attempts. Against Memphis, he had 10 attempts, and last game against the Sixers, I don't know what it was. He only had 5 attempts. I know you're saying be aggressive, but it depends on who they trying to feature too, man. It's like, look, we got to keep it a buck when we keep it a buck on this show, man. It's not always the system or the coaches. Sometimes the call come from above, and they want to feature a guy that kind of validates. I'm talking about the front office. Sometimes they want to validate a move or a signing or that it was right. So they'll feature somebody that shouldn't be even featured in that role in a sense to protect themselves, even though it hurts the team. They just like, y'all figure it out. It's no different than a high draft pick that's not quite ready to play now. Come from upstairs, you'll put them in the game. We heard plenty of stories about that, about young Kobe in his rookie year with Dale Harris and stuff like that. They were like, put him in the game. Why ain't he playing? How he gonna learn? So he ain't ready. Then Kobe, he'll come in, give you a couple dunks, then eventually he start fucking up. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm saying. And now the rest of the Lakers are frustrated. It happens all the time. So they trying to feature and justify a certain guy for getting a big contract in all season, and he's been up and down. There's no way in hell you could tell me that Rui shouldn't have been the third option behind those guys, behind Russ and Bill. It's just common sense because he can score in a multitude of ways. He may not be the shooter that Bertans is, but he can get his, man. You can get him on a block. He can get in mid-range, picking pops, picking rolls, three-point range, get to the free throw line. You got to guard him. Bertans, if I run you off the three-point line, it's a win for me. He's going to pass it out, try to relocate, do that. It's a win for me. So he's a specialist. Rui's a player. So he should be more aggressive, man. You know what I'm saying? They need a feature, and I think that's kind of what you have. They had a feature. It wasn't no Bill or Bertans.
Right.
So it was just like, let him loose. And you see what he's capable of against Giannis, not just the MVP, the defensive player of the year. You see what it is now. They should stay featuring him, man. And, if they don't keep featuring him like that, it's one thing if he's just gunshot, he has opportunities, he's just not shooting. That's on him. But if he ain't getting the ball to be aggressive and stuff like that, that's from somewhere else. And that tells me that they're not really trying to win. So we're going to see what it is moving forward.
Nah, for sure. Because like you guys said, given the opportunity, we've seen what he's been able to do. That we've seen several times this year.
He deserved double-digit shots. He deserved double-digit shots a game. No way.
Absolutely.
At the very least.
Yeah, at least a good 15. You got 15 shots, though.
And it's weird because he was a high draft pick. Like, wouldn't you want that to materialize?
It's his second year, but yeah, when you pay somebody 80 and they up and down, though, I mean, look, you got to justify that with people, man. People further up the food chain, man. They ain't it's all over the league. You starting to see it, that's why you starting to see buyouts and like, why am I paying this guy this much? Like, Yo, sick him down till we try to trade him or buy him out. Like this makes no sense, especially with this pandemic situation going on.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna see a lot more of that. Like Detroit, Blake Griffin. We gonna see what he look like with the Nets. But it looked like he was well done. He ain't getting dunks with Detroit or nothing like that. So why are y'all paying? It's like why are we paying him 100 M's and stuff like that? Andre Drummond, same thing. We got these big contracts. We're not going anywhere, and it's like then we're not winning. Why am I? Owners starting to ask those questions. Why am I paying this big ass contract right now? See what I'm saying? So those questions are definitely being asked right now. But yeah, Rui was always the third option, and I think it's just coming back to like we gotta win games, F feelings and stuff like that. Look, Bertans, when those three get in trouble, spot up. Hopefully you knock it down. It's as simple as that.
Right.
The fact that we speak and hopefully with what the tab was, it's tough.
Look at man.
That's a big tab for hopefully. That's a real big tab for hopefully. But if y'all don't have anything else to add, go ahead and end. I'm about to say something I need to say. So we'll be back on Monday after the conclusion of Bucks Wizards part 2 of this weekend. Y'all enjoy your Sunday as always. Thanks for hanging with us on Wizards Outlook. And we'll see you guys Monday.